Welcome to the True AI podcast. Following our deep dive earlier this week into the SpaceX-AI merger, the focus has shifted from expansion to instability. While the combined entity is now valued at a staggering $1.25 trillion, its founding leadership is fracturing.
It's a classic clash of cultures scenario, Sarah. We're seeing a high-stakes pivot from an agile research lab to a massive industrial powerhouse. Today's news doesn't just impact Elon Musk's portfolio, it touches on the global race for hardware sovereignty and the psychological impact of these systems on our most vulnerable users.
We begin with a bombshell report in the leadership of AXI. Just days after the merger with SpaceX, co-founders Jimmy Ba and Tony Wu have officially resigned. This brings the count of the original 12 co-founders down to just 6.
Losing Jimmy Ba is particularly significant. For those who aren't familiar with his technical pedigree, Ba is a titan in the field. He co-created the Atom Optimizer, which is the fundamental algorithm used to train almost every large-scale neural network in existence today. The update rule for Atom, which adjusts the learning rate based on the first moment MT and the second moment VT of the gradients, is essentially the heartbeat of model training.
Reports from the Financial Times suggest that Ba's departure followed severe internal tensions over model performance. As Musk pushes to close the gap with OpenAI's O4 and Anthropic's latest models, the pressure on the technical team has become unsustainable.
Musk has described this as a recalibration. In an all-hands meeting, he outlined a future where AXI isn't just a software company, but a spacefaring manufacturing entity. He discussed plans for a lunar manufacturing facility to build AI satellites that would be launched via a catapult system. This moon-to-space infrastructure is intended to bypass Earth-bound regulatory and power constraints.
The concern for investors is clear. If you lose 50% of your top research talent in the middle of a compute war, does the moon factory even matter? Without the brains behind Grok 4, the hardware is just expensive metal. While AXI deals with leadership turnover, Beijing-based Zhipu AI has officially released GLM-5. This is an open-source model that claims parity with the world's most advanced proprietary systems, specifically in complex coding and reasoning.
Technically, GLM-5 is a mixture of experts or MO architecture with approximately 745 billion total parameters, though only about 44 billion are active during any single inference step. This sparse activation makes it incredibly efficient.
The geopolitical angle is what we need to highlight. GLM-5 was trained entirely on domestic Huawei Ascend chips, signaling that China is successfully building a full-stack AI ecosystem that is immune to U.S. export bans.
It's also agentic ready. In benchmarks like Vending Bench 2, which tests an AI's ability to perform long-term autonomous operations over hours, GLM-5 ranked first among all open-source models. It can autonomously conduct deep debugging and multi-step research with minimal human intervention.
However, we are seeing a hollowed-out business model emerge in the Chinese market. Companies are currently giving away millions in credits to win market share, creating a pricing war that might be unsustainable for everyone except the state-backed giants. We turn now to a significant regulatory move in the U.S. The Hawaii State Legislature is advancing Senate Bill 3001, designed to combat AI psychosis. This is the first time a state has formally recognized the risk of long-term psychological dependency on chatbots.
The bill requires conversational AI to issue clear, unskippable notifications every hour, reminding the user that the entity they are speaking with is not human and is not sentient. It also mandates specific protocols for suicide prevention and prohibits models from simulating emotional or romantic connections with users suspected to be minors.
The Attorney General's office has expressed concerns that this may violate the First Amendment by attempting to regulate the content of AI speech. But proponents point to cases of hallucinated empathy, where users develop delusional beliefs because the AI is programmed to be perfectly supportive and non-judgmental 24/7.
This is the first major push to define the duty of care for AI companies regarding mental health. If it passes, it could force a massive UI redesign for every chatbot operating in the United States.
Finally, a breakthrough in the physical bottleneck of AI. Samsung Electronics announced today that it has started mass production of HBM4, High Bandwidth Memory 4.
This is the high-performance memory needed for the next generation of training. Samsung's HBM4 delivers data transfer speeds of 11.7 gigabytes per second, which is 22% faster than the current HBM3E standard. By combining their 1C or 10 nanometer class DRAM with a 4 nanometer foundry process, they have created a chip with 2.7 times the bandwidth of its predecessor.
This is a strategic play to reclaim leadership from SK Hynix. These chips are the prerequisite for the NVIDIA Vera Rubin platform we discussed on Monday.
While this makes AI more energy efficient, the manufacturing process is incredibly complex. The yield rates for HBM4 remain a major industry secret, and any supply hiccup will create a haves and have-nots divide. Only the wealthiest nations and firms, like the newly merged SpaceX-xAI, will be able to afford the initial batches of this memory.
From the exodus of researchers to the regulation of robot empathy, the AI landscape of 2026 is becoming a battleground of human versus machine interests. The hardware is getting faster, but as we see with Huawei's bill and AXI's leadership, the human infrastructure is struggling to keep up.
Thank you for joining us today on the True AI Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.